What's going on, guys? My name is Sam, and today, the 2000. What's going on, guys? My name is Sam, and today, the NFL draft, 2018 NFL draft, is finally over. All the teams have picked their players, and it is done. So I'm reporting on the damage done specifically by the Dallas Cowboys. And so I'm going to basically go through each one of our draft picks, the Dallas Cowboys draft picks, because I am part of this fandom, and so I'm going to go through each one of the draft picks. I'm going to tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, who else we could have gotten at that spot, and then kind of give you a grade of each individual player. At the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about just the overall grade I give the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe throw in a couple way too early predictions just based on our draft class. So let's go. So for the first NFL Dallas Cowboys pick at pick number 19 in the first round, we picked linebacker out of Boise State, Leighton Vander Esch. So when I first heard the news, I was actually doing a live stream, and I first heard this news, I was super bummed. I was kind of like, okay, like this is an okay pick. But I didn't know as much as I wanted to about him. I started doing research. I went into to watch some film on him and see some highlights, see what everyone was talking about. And man, do I love this cat. He is 6'4", 256 pounds, runs a 4.65 40. Man, this guy's big, he's fast, and I am excited for him to be on this team. I am really excited for him to be in our linebacker core. He is a one-hit wonder, so he only started for 1 year at Boise State. He did play a lot his sophomore year. People don't know about that because he didn't actually start, but he played a lot, made a lot of tackles. His second year, his junior year, which is the year that we all refer to, is really his breakout season. He had tons of tackles. He was a great linebacker and someone that offenses feared. And so one of his best qualities is his ability to cover. And this is a big deal. You remember last year facing the Rams and Gurley taking a slant all the way up to a touchdown? No more. We have a 6'4", 256-pound, 4.65, 40 linebacker who can cover to stop that. Sean Lee wasn't in that game, and therefore they did that. Not any longer. When Sean Lee goes out, which he inevitably will, we finally have someone to plug in to play. Someone who's really, really talented. I actually like this guy. The more I watch him, the more I learn about him. I really like this pick. And one of the other things is he's a big ceiling. So he hasn't been playing football for all that long. He played basketball, he played football, and so he's this good with only this much experience. I expect him to get a ton better. Some of the things that are cons about this guy and some of the reasons why some people are mad is, one, he is a little bit of a developmental player. He's not going to come in and be your day one official starter over the other players that you have. I do think he will start. I do think he will play a lot. He can play any one of the linebacker positions, and I'm really excited that he's going to be learning underneath Sean Lee, one of the best linebackers in the league. I think he potentially could be the best if he could stay on the field, but I'm really excited for him to learn underneath him. The second thing that people say is that he needs to learn how to take on blocks better. This is very true. I think he can learn this, though. Being this big at this size, I think he has the ability to learn this. I like this guy's attitude. Obviously I like his demeanor when he's talking to reporters and stuff like that. I like his story. I'm really excited to have this guy on the team. The reason why this might not have been the best pick is because of who else was on the board. So just looking real quickly at five players or a couple players: Tavon Bryan, defensive tackle; Harold Landry, defensive end; Rashaan Evans, linebacker; Ridley and DJ Moore, wide receivers. So real quick, I did not want to take a wide receiver in the first round. This team is not built on wide receivers. It's built on a run game. Second, our biggest needs are on defense. I did not think that taking a wide receiver was a good idea. I don't care how good they are. And these wide receivers were not as good as last year's wide receivers. They just weren't. And so I didn't see the need to do that. Personally, I would have taken Harold Landry, defensive end. Second most important position on the field, and this guy has a lot of talent to rush the quarterback. That's who I would have taken. But I'm really excited for Leighton Vander Esch to be on our team. I think he's going to bring a heavy presence to that defense, and I think he's going to be really good. I'm going to give this grade a B+. Again, I like him. I think he could be awesome. I'm a little nervous because he is a little bit of a developmental player, hasn't had as much experience as possible as he needs, and really struggles with taking off blocks. I think all of these things can be fixed, and I think he's going to be a dynamic player in our on our team this upcoming year and a lot of years to come. So, number 2, second round, pick number 50 by the Dallas Cowboys is offensive tackle from Texas, Connor Williams. Hell yes. I am so excited for this pick. This is probably the best pick of the Dallas Cowboys draft. This one makes me so excited for this next year. I am so pumped. First off, this guy is mean. I was watching some film on him. He really, really enjoys pounding people, hitting people, driving them to the ground, pancaking them. This is the type of guy you want on your offensive line. Our team is built around the offensive line, and when we didn't have a good left guard, and then Tyrone Smith went out, our team really just suffered. It was really bad. And so the fact that we filled in a big-time hole there at left guard, putting a mean offensive tackle there, and letting Lyle Collins stay on the right tackle, we now have a mean offensive line front again. Everybody's nasty. Everyone can play. And then you have Cameron Fleming. Is that right? Cameron Fleming able to swing tackle. So if Tyrone Smith gets hurt, or if he's tired, his back's hurting, anything, we can bring him in here. Man, this makes me excited. This is such a good pick. A couple other things, guys. The value of this pick. He should have gone first round. I was watching a lot of mock drafts and looking at a bunch of different reports on him. A lot of people had him in the first round, and a lot of people had him as the best tackle in the draft. So the fact that we got him at 50 is absolutely insane. I think this is going to be a offense of running game that is going to rival even 2 years ago in 2016's running game. I'm pumped about this, and I think it's filled a big hole that we had. I think 2 things. One, the linebackers were the number 1 hole. When we didn't have Sean Lee in the game, we weren't as good. We were significantly worse, or significantly more likely to lose the game when Sean Lee wasn't in there. We filled that hole with the first pick of the draft. Second pick of the draft is we sucked. We absolutely were horrible when Tyrone Smith was not in the game, and with our left guard that we had. I'm so excited that we filled that hole. We are going to be a significantly better team with just those 2 picks. Just those 2. We are a better football team, and we're going to have more wins just because of that. Some of the things that, one of the reasons why this might not have been a great pick is because defense is still our biggest hole. We have the biggest need there. We might have been able to win games with the offensive line that we already have. And so with that, guys, though, we built our team, the Dallas Cowboys, on being able to pound the rock, being able to run the clock down, being able to tire out these defenses and score a lot of points. And with this pick, you just made that even more possible. I'm very excited about this. A couple of the people that were on the board that we might have really looked into is Ronnie Harrison, free safety out of Alabama, really good player. I really wish we'd have gotten him in the 3rd round, but we passed him up. And then Anthony Miller, wide receiver, he was electric. I actually think he's going to be one of the best wide receivers in this group. You at me at that. I really like this guy. But even with those 2 players on the board, I still want to pick Connor Williams. I didn't even actually know he was falling. When we were playing, I was honed in on Ronnie Harris or Anthony Miller. I was really excited, and then we picked him. I had no idea that he was even there. I just didn't even think that he would fall that far. So very excited again, guys. This is my favorite pick of the entire draft for sure, and I think this is going to be a good one. So 3rd round, pick number 81 by the Dallas Cowboys was wide receiver out of Colorado State, Micheal Gallup. Man, this is cool. So all the people that were worried about getting a wide receiver in the first round, who wanted Anthony Miller in the second round, who was worried because Dez is not there, we got ourselves a really good wide receiver in the third round at 81. He's 6'1", 205. He runs a 4.5 40. I like this guy. He's really quick. He has great hands. He's a good route runner. Very, very competitive. And one of the things that I like is we're kind of going away from the Dez wide receiver. We're going after a little bit smaller, quicker, faster ability to run good routes, get open, catch the ball, which Dez Bryant has had issues with that. I think this was a excellent pick. And I'm very excited to see him in the next couple years. I think this guy is I think he has a chance to start. I think he has a chance to, maybe not for, the first game, but coming in, third, fourth, fifth week, I think he has the ability to take Williams' spot because of his quickness and his route running ability. The ability to get open and catch the ball is something that I felt like Williams always struggled with. I think he's a better wide receiver than most people give it to. Give him credit for being, but I really like this guy. So a couple of things that he needs to work on, some of his cons, is his ability to get his head around when the ball is in the air, locate it, and go get it. This is actually a con that I hear a lot about wide receivers coming out of college. I think it's a normal thing to have to get used to as you're getting into the pros and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about that. I think they can work on him and get him to a place where he can do a better job at catching the ball, and then or locating, getting his head around and locating it, catching. The one that actually kind of worries me a little bit is that he needs to give more efforts in his run blocking situations where he has to run block. This team again is built around the offensive line in our running game, and so I'm a little nervous on that. That's one of the reasons why Terrence Williams is still on the team. Personally, is because his ability to block, hold his block. So with that, I think this can be worked out. I think this is something that we're going to see him get changed. So why this may not have been a good pick, and I don't think I gave Connor. I don't think I gave Connor Williams a grade. He's an A+. If you didn't know that, how excited I was by that last pick. So A+ Connor Williams. Micheal Gallup, reason why he might not have been a good pick is because of those two reasons. Who else was on the board? Ronnie Harrison was on the board. Tavarius Moore, safety, was on the board. Ian Thomas, tight end, and Deion Kane, wide receiver. Out of all these guys, I think the two best players on the board at that moment were Micheal Gallup and Ronnie Harrison for the needs that we had. I personally would have gone with Ronnie Harrison. I personally would have gone with a wide receiver. I think we can win with the group of wide receivers that we have, even without Gallup on the team. And I would have gone free safety to really start shoring up that defensive back spot. And interesting enough, the Jaguars pick him up. Jaguars are picking really good players right now. If you haven't seen, check out their draft. It's an amazing draft. They do such a good job. They picked him up because he's an excellent player. I wish we'd have grabbed him. However, we didn't. We went with Micheal Gallup again. I think he's a really good player, and I'm really excited to have him on our team. I'm going to give this grade just an A. I think it fills a good need. I think he's a good player. I think he's going to grow into an even better player than he is right now. But I think there was a better player. Maybe A is too high. Maybe let's go B+. Actually, I think there were. I wish we'd have gone defense on this occasion. I do understand that this team is built around the offense and scoring a lot of points. So I understand that that's a good pick. I just would have gone defense personally. Anyway, so our first pick in the fourth round. We actually have two picks in this fourth round. So the first pick is number 116. Defensive end out of Kansas City or Kansas was Dorance Armstrong. So this is the first pick that I didn't know. When he came up, I went, Who is this? And so I had to do a lot of research. I didn't know who he was coming in. I had some buddies texting me, telling me this is a good pick. So I'm excited. I was excited about it, but I wanted to learn more. So here's what I learned. First off, he had a third round grade on him, and we got him in the fourth. Good job. He was a top 100 player, and we drafted him at 116. So values there. We got a good player for where he is at. I think that's huge. Top 100 players are usually the best ones coming out of the class, and the top 100 generally are the ones that are going to be starters for you. So the fact that we got him in the 4th round is a great value. Second is defensive end is the second most important position on the field. So I'm good with this. Let's keep adding positions. It is actually becoming more of a need that we know. We don't know what's going to happen with D-Law next year. We have a franchise tag on him right now, but we don't know if we sign a contract with him. And so putting more talent there and throwing players at that, I've got no problem with that. Yeah, let's do it. So a couple other things I learned about him. He's a quality pass rusher. After looking at some film, I really liked his pass rush ability and his hustle to getting to the quarterback. He has a ton of upside. I think he can be a lot better player than he is right now. He's a high ceiling, and I'm excited to see him develop into that big-time pass rusher that he can be. My favorite part about him, and the thing that I kept seeing on reports and watching on film, is his hustle and the fact that he does not quit. Love that about this guy. He does not quit. He runs the football even after that it's gone past him. I love that. We can use that energy. We can use that excitement. We can use that hustle on this team. Absolutely. Taco Charlton. Last year, I'm hoping he develops into something. And then we got this guy who I hope he develops into a even better pass rusher. I'm excited that we're throwing players that are defensive ends. I'm excited to see what they become. The con about this guy is he is a developmental player. So he's probably not going to be this dynamic pass rusher, even a good pass rusher or a great pass rusher for another year or two. And so you got to know that when you're taking this guy, it's going to take a little bit. He's not going to come out and do this year and start sacking people. He's just not. So I would expect for him to get some playing time, get some reps, but I don't expect him to be this pass rush, monster. I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it an A because I think, again, you can never put too many defensive ends on your team, throwing more competition at that spot. I do think the only reason I might throw it to like a B+ is that we have some bigger needs on the team. But this guy definitely was the best player on the board. So I'm really excited about this. Give it an A. Good job, coaches, Dallas Cowboys, for going up and grabbing a good player for us to make this team better. So second pick of the 4th. This is one that I actually do have a little bit of an issue with, some problems with, and so it'll be interesting to go. So again, let's just jump into it. This is our 5th pick, but it's the 4th round pick of the Dallas Cowboys in the 4th round. Pick number 137 is tight end from Stanford, Dalton Shultz. So this guy is a big dude, 6'6", 244 pounds, runs a 4.75 40. So the good things about this guy is he is a great blocker. He's kind of like, I think of James Hanna. He's good at blocking. He actually was an offensive lineman before they transitioned him to a tight end. He does have the ability to catch his runs and good routes. And I like the fact that he is good at blocking, specifically with the fact that we are a running team. I think I've said that a couple times now. We're a running team, so we need people that are willing to and able to block for Zeke. So the biggest con that I have, and he has some, definitely if you're picking in this far late in the draft, you're getting someone who's going to be a developmental guy. My biggest issue is the fact that he seemed to always get beat out by other people. And that's my biggest issue with this guy. Personally, if he's going to consistently be beat out by other people and people are going to take his spot, then I just don't know why we're taking him. So I do understand that tight end is a need for us right now. We just lost, or potentially you're going to lose Witten. I think he's gone. And so I'm just kind of sad that we lost, that this is the guy that's picked. The biggest reason I'm disappointed at this pick is because there are 2 players on the board that I would have really, really liked above this guy. Maurice Hurst, yeah, he had some heart issues, but at this point, he's a top 15 player, and you're picking at 137. You're in the 5th round. You throw a pick at this guy. Let's see what he becomes. If he doesn't play it down in the entire in his entire time with you, I'm okay with that. I want to take a risk on a top 15 player on my defensive tackle team, and so I'm really disappointed. The other one was Foley. I'm going to mess this up, but I think it's Fatosky. I really like this guy. He's also defensive tackle. He would have been worth a pick at this point. I wish we'd have gone defensive tackle to really shore up that defensive tackle spot. I do believe that we're gonna bring Tyron Crawford inside interior, and we're gonna let the ends play ends. I'm hoping that Taco Charlton has at the ability now to actually come in and play more reps, and we can throw Tyron Crawford in. So I'm hoping that middle shores up a little bit more, but. Yeah, I wish we'd have gone with Maurice Hurst or Foley, just personally. So I'm going to give this a C, C plus. It does fill a need. He is good at blocking, which is what we need in a tight end right now. Yes, we do need him to be able to catch the ball, but honestly, I think he can do what Witten did last year as far as having like 50 catches and 500 yards. I think he has the ability to do that. Witten was not at his prime as far as ability to run really quick routes. He wasn't really fast at this point. He was ridiculously smart and ability. Knew all the small nuances and able to get open, which I'm hoping that Dalton Shultz will be able to make up for in speed and youth and energy. So this is one of those picks that I wish we wouldn't have gone. I wish we'd have gone Hurst or Foley. So that's my opinion. Next is our fifth round. So we're on to the fifth round. Fifth round pick, pick number 171, quarterback out of Western Kentucky, Mike White. So first off, we got Dak, right? We got a quarterback. Dak's starting. This guy's not coming in anytime soon to take his spot. But quarterback is the number one position on the field. So I have no problem drafting somebody every freaking year. You draft somebody even when you got Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers on your team, always to develop them, even if you trade them like the Patriots did to the 49ers to get more draft picks. There's nothing wrong with that. And so absolutely love taking a quarterback here. Some good things about him. He had a third round grade on him, and we got him in the fifth. That's great value, guys. Great size, big guy, uses the whole field, finds vulnerable matchups, and he is highly productive. I like this guy. I didn't know very much about him until after we picked him. I did a lot of research, just kind of look at him. I watched some film. I like this guy. Granted, he got picked in the fifth round for a reason. He is a developmental quarterback, and he's going to need a lot of work, and I'm excited to see what he looks like in the preseason. I know I have some buddies who wish that we'd have gone with a different quarterback at this point. I like him. I mean, I think he's going to do a good job. Again, developmental. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping that he either can come in and really, be a really good backup for Dak, or we can trade him for picks later on. I think that's just something you have to do, and I'm willing to give up a fifth round pick for that option and that potential ability to back up / picks. So, personally, sixth round pick. Our number one. So we have 3 picks this round, and I'm really excited about this because the first pick we traded for Tavon Auston. Good pick, Dallas Cowboys. Oh, sorry, Mike White. I'm going to give him B for that because I think that was a good pick. Excuse me. Let's go back real quick. B for that. I think it was a good pick, solid, good stuff. So sorry. Back to our pick 192. We traded in for Tavon Auston. Love this pick. At this point, we didn't have a scat back. Tavon Auston has played for the Rams and has done a good job at coming out of the backfield as a kind of like a running back thing. He can be a punt returner. He can return kickoffs. He is fast. He is quick. He's a veteran wide receiver. He's good at route running. Absolutely love it. I would definitely all day throw a 6th round pick at bringing in Tavon Auston. Absolutely love this. Good job, Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to give you an A for that. Even if he doesn't come in and start, like even if he doesn't beat out Hearns, Williams, and Gallup, I just love that you have an option for him, and I love that he can be a running back and a punt returner. I think it's a great pick, guys. So 6th round, our second pick. first pick. Pick number 193 is Chris Covington, linebacker out of Indiana. I'm just going to hit on a couple things real quick. I'm not going to go into detail with this guy. He is a physical specimen. He's big. He's fast. But right now he's a better athlete than he is a linebacker. I think there were some better linebackers on the board at this time. But again, they went for potential, what this guy potentially could be. And so I think it was a good pick. I gave it a B. The only reason why I gave it a B versus great pick for the 6th round A is because Puna Ford, defensive tackle, was still on the board. I wish they would have gone with him. I think he's a good defensive tackle, could have come in and competed for a starting position or been a rotational player. Wish we'd have gone that way, but we didn't, unfortunately. So I'm going to give it a B and move on from there. Again, just shoring up that linebacker spot. There's nothing wrong with getting more people there. A good thing about him being such an athlete at this point is he's going to go play special teams. He's going to be running down to make tackles. I love that. Yes, get him on my team. Let's let him go be a special team specialist and back up, our linebacker. So yeah, good pick. All right. The third pick, or second pick, whatever you want to call it, in the 2018 draft in the 6th round is pick number 208, wide receiver out of Boise State, Cedrick Wilson. First thing, my favorite thing about this guy is how much he loves Leighton Vander, Esch, and how he talked about him. He talked about Leighton Vander as just someone who was always hustling in practice and making all the tackles and shutting down the entire offense. Hell yeah, I'll take that any day. A couple of the good things, guys, is he's 6'2", 197 pounds. He runs a 4.55 40. A couple things that he needs to work on. He's not great against press. His ball skills are just average, but he is athletic and he is competitive. So I don't know if you noticed here, we've gotten 3 new wide receivers. For all the people that were worried about wide receiver in the 1st round, we now have 3 new wide receivers, guys. And I love this, guys. I think we've needed a change in our wide receiver core for a little bit. In fact, we got Dez out, and we brought in all these new young guys to compete and push out these older players that aren't producing. I love it. Let's get a more competitive training camp. I think it's going to be exciting to see who comes out, who's still on the team. It was crowded already. I think we had 6 wide receivers, although we did trade Switzer for a defensive tackle. I forget his name, from the Raiders. So I think it will be interesting to see how this training camp goes, because not all of them are going to make it. So there's going to be some players that don't make it. Just how it's going to happen. And then last pick. 7th pick, number 236, running back out of Alabama, Bo Scarbrough. So a couple things. First off, I like this guy a lot. He's 6'1", 228 pounds. He runs a 4.52 40. He's a powerful back. He's a punisher. Watching this guy, feels like he goes and he looks for the hits. He looks for the people that he can go get a hit on. And yeah, that to me, love that type of player. Throw him in the backfield. The only issue is I don't know how he fits our scheme. So we already had kind of like a big, powerful back in Smith. And so, I just don't get why this guy, where he's going to fit in our scheme. Obviously, he's going to. So I don't know if that means that Smith is no longer a part of the idea. I don't know if they just threw another running back at it to see how it plays out. I don't know what they did here. But not a bad pick. Good running back. Excited to see how he plays in our scheme and how he fits. Ball's on the 1, and it's 4th and 1. You got 1 play. I'm throwing Zeke back there. I don't care how big and powerful this guy is. Zeke's got the ball. So I want to see how this guy's going to play out. Not bad. So I'm going to give this one actually a C, just because he's not a great fit. Also, I don't think I gave Cedrick Wilson. I give him a C+. I think he's a good player, and I'm excited to put more competition in our back end, in the training camp. But I'm going to give him a C+. So if I was to rate the Dallas Cowboys and just the totality of the draft, I'm going to give them an A. I've got a lot of friends that are gonna give me crap about this, but I am an optimist, and I do believe. Here's the thing: I believe that the Dallas Cowboys are better today than they were 24 hours ago, or excuse me, 60 hours ago. Let's just go with that. 72 hours ago. I think we are better today than we were before the draft as a team, and I think we made some big time strides to become a better team, and I'm really excited for this year. So because of that, because we filled up the holes that we needed, because we added a lot of talent to our team, I really do believe that this was a good draft. I'm going to give it an A. I am sad that we haven't done anything with safety. I'm excited to see if we do something in free agency or if we make any trades. I mean, there is that one guy in the West Coast. I don't think that they're trading him, but who knows? They may. They might still try to go after him. I don't think that the Cowboys have said that they don't really like anybody in free agency. But I mean, at this point, you didn't get anybody in the draft. I mean, do you really trust Heath, Xavier Woods to be back there? Or are you going to put Jerry Jones mentioned that one of the good things about Byron Jones and Cheeto is their flexibility. Does that mean Byron Jones is going back to safety? You're going to keep him there corner, throw Awuzie back there as safety? I mean, how are you going to play this? I'm really interested. I prefer to have I think it's going to get kind of crowded back there. It's really interesting to see how it plays out. I am a big Xavier Woods fan. I'm not a big Heath or Frazier fan. I just think there are better players we could have gotten. Example, Harrison in the third round. But all in all, I think we made some big improvements, and I think we made some big steps. So, comment below. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear what your thoughts are about the draft. Tell me what you gave grades on each one of these picks. Tell me what you give grades on in the entirety of their draft. I would love to hear just what you thought. If you like this stuff, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. Be honest. And if you like the content, subscribe. I am going to continue to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm interested in on this channel. So, guys, thanks for joining me today, and hope you have a good one. Peace.